County, and I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, a Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go!
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. Friday-lujah to you. We made it. We made it to, I know when people say that. We made it. We made it to the, okay, I'm saying it too. We made it to the end of the week. It's Friday-lujah to you. Big D, Friday-lujah to you on the other side of the glass right there. Friday-lujah, my friend.
And a Friday-lujah right back at you.
That's right. And we got Nina in the breaking newsroom and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News and YouTube, Rumble X, and Facebook. We got a lot going on. Floridians is trending right now on X. I wonder why. Is it because we're broken? We were great. Everything was going smooth. Or smoothly. Is it smooth or smoothly? Everything was going smoothly or smooth? Which one would you rather?
It actually doesn't matter.
Okay, good. Smoothly smooth is how it was going. Everything was fine. We were just getting along. Everything was great. Supermajority Republicans. You know, everything's nice. And then all of a sudden, it's like, what's going on here? No tax relief right now on property taxes. That's not going to be happening right now because we have a blue ribbon, gold-plated panel of experts who are going to 37 people, I guess, are going to get together thanks to the Speaker of the House and this special Blue Rebel committee. How do you like that, D? A Blue Rebel committee. Is there just?
I heard Ribble.
Well, I think it was more like Rebel because I was thinking Anna Eskamani, who was one of the representatives, the big woke Democrat that's going to be part of the 37 that are going to be deciding how property tax stuff is going to be working. It's, the idea of.
That's scary.
Yeah, D, here's the thing, and we're going to move on in just a second. By the way, Congressman Byron Donald is scheduled to join us in about 10 minutes or so. But it's a funny thing. On the way to supermajorities, there's a reason why that happens. Some might say that there are people that have rejected everything that Democrats in the state of Florida have presented, and by which time you would notice that. And when somebody says, hey, you're going to put together a panel of people to talk about property taxes and property tax relief and how we're going to do this in the next couple of months and getting that all together, yeah, let's do that. We're going to include some really woke Democrats. No thanks. They've already been rejected. We're good. We can handle this. They kind of trust. Well, we'll put a couple of Democrats in there, some that are like, and even some Republicans that used to be Democrats that supposedly are Republicans now. And, it's okay. Yeah, but you're not representing the people. Okay, right. So I just think that's funny because there's only a few that are going to be part of this. So we're hoping that the representation will be it's in the name, the representatives, the House there. Anyway, all right. So we'll talk about that coming up. And if it didn't get any stranger or weirder, which one do I use, D? Is it stranger or weirder? Which one do you like?
I don't know what you're about to say.
Okay, if it as if it wasn't getting any more weird or strange, then you have the Speaker of the House, Daniel Perez, who's throwing fuel on the fire, if you will, about Governor DeSantis and something that is making the rounds. And yeah, I'll play it because he said it, and I just thought, oh boy, he didn't really say that. So we'll play that audio too. Lots of stuff going on here today in the state of Florida. And if you're trending Floridians, we've got to get to it. So let's get to it. How about some of the other things that are going on right now? President Trump issued an executive order directing the Corporation for Public Broadcasting's board of directors to cease federal funding for NPR and PBS. I can't even speak BPS. Beats per second. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing beats. Okay. They're defunding NPR and PBS. How about that? I was reading off of NPR's. I figure you've got to go to the source to see how they're feeling. Right? So Trump is like, yeah, you know what? We're doing this. We're cutting the funding. We've had enough of this. The President's executive order instructs the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and other federal agencies to, quote, cease federal funding for NPR and PBS, and further requires that they work to root out indirect sources of public financing for the news organization. And that has happened. So that is some pretty good news. Sesame Workshop, a part of PBS, has revenues of $187 million plus money from other programming to push what some would say has been radical stuff. I don't know. I wasn't really sure if it was radical stuff until I noticed the one episode. I was thinking, all right, what do the colors of the Progress Pride flag mean exactly on Sesame Street? Like I don't know. I think if I wanted to have my conversation with my child, I might do that myself. There's always that thinking. And the rainbow flag stripes and what they all mean and all of that. And then all the different colors that have been added. And okay. So, when that started happening, people were like, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that could the money be better spent someplace else? Forgive us, because you don't expect that kind of thing to happen on Sesame Street when you're not watching because you're busy doing other things, and there's your child in front of the TV and you're not paying attention, and next thing you know it, oh, would you look at that? But of course you wouldn't know, because the next thing you know it, it's gone, and then you're not really sure. So there's that kind of thing. And then also there's this kind of thing as Trump orders the end of federal funding for NPR and PBS. The head of NPR, and she was saying, how long ago was this conversation happening with the head there at NPR when she was
the
like...
The number one challenge here that we see and is, of course, the First Amendment in the United States is a fairly robust protection of rights. And that is a protection of rights both for platforms, which I actually think is very important, that platforms have those rights to be able to regulate what kind of content they want on their sites. But it also means that it is a little bit tricky to really address some of the real challenges of where does bad information come from.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky. And so is the internet connection from the hotel room or wherever she was at that time. So remember that pesky First Amendment and everything going on, constitutional protections. And man, how do we get around that? It's tough. So if you're asking people, hey, you're really upset about the defunding of NPR and PBS? Nah, not really. Especially considering it's just a small portion. It's a small portion. I want to say it's what, 400? Is it 477 mil? Is that what it is? I'm just double checking to make sure that my math is correct. Let's see. All right. Trump administration plans to cut all public broadcasting funding. Targets NPR, PBS, and local stations, which get $535 million yearly from the feds. Okay. $535 million yearly from the feds is a chunk of change, but it's not all the change. So, yep, there was a time when people were like, "Yep, we can use PBS," and then they were like, "Whoa," with the woke stuff. But no, and some of the other things. So, which viewpoints NPR and PBS promote does not matter. What does matter is that neither entity presents a fair, accurate, or unbiased portrayal of current events to tax-paying citizens. That is what the ending taxpayer subsidizing of taxpayer dollars going to PBS. I can't say that. Can you say that, D? Subsidization.
Subsidization?
Probably
tricky.
not
more than once.
Yeah, that's it. Don't make me do it again. So, and there's a frustration. So that was good to see. And there's enough reason why. And yes, there are going to be people kicking and screaming on the left. And what else is new? Hey, look, the good news is if you're kicking and screaming, you're not destroying and burning or keying cars, that kind of stuff. So that's good. So just kick and scream all you want. Just stop burning things and destroying stuff and stealing stuff in major metropolitan cities where they seem to let you get away with it. I saw another video just a little while ago. I think it was in California, probably, where there was a couple of dudes. I'm assuming. I mean, I'm not really sure. I couldn't tell exactly. And I'd hate to gender anybody.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Can't assume that, right? I mean, when you have a couple of individuals stealing, it could be any gender of the. How many are there now? 172? Not really sure. I just want to be proper with that. That they were just in there taking their time, cleaning out the makeup counter there at one of the famous stores in the mall. But no big deal, because, that's what the left seems to think is okay. but we don't. And even when it comes to the defense of American citizens and what the left thinks is cool and not cool, boy, this came up yesterday. There was this just crazy exchange on CNN. Trump-appointed judge says that Trump's deportations are unlawful. And there was a debate going back and forth about this. There's a Florida angle to this story we're going to get to in just a second as well. But as you hear the discussion going back and forth about this, and Abby Phillips is trying to calm everybody down, especially Batya Ungar-Sargon, who is the opinion editor at Newsweek, who seemed to be red-pilled lately. And I just want to play this little clip before we get to Congressman Byron Donalds in just a second. But here, listen to this exchange here.
Hold on a second. I get the passion, but I really think it's important to really scrutinize what you just said. The idea that people do not have the right to the processes of the law just because they are not citizens is your opinion, but that is not how the law works.
Now, listen to Batya Ungar-Sargon's answer to this. It's interesting, and I want you to check this out.
You know that, right?
The president has the right to deport people.
Okay, answer my question. You understand that that is not how the law works, that it is not true that just because your citizenship status does not mean that you do not get the same rights to legal process as everybody else in this country.
Abby, I think the country is...
Now listen to this answer. Listen to this.
I think that the country... I'm answering your question. I am answering your very specific question.
Yeah,
I think the country right now is very split. In fact, I just saw a poll yesterday from WIC, which was put out by 2A. The country is split almost 50-50 on this exact question. How much due process, how much of our investment and our money and our courts and our time do we owe people who committed a felony as their first act on U.S. soil?
Whoa, that's a pretty powerful statement. Congressman Byron Donalds is on with us right now on Florida's Voice. He was listening to that whole exchange when it comes to this issue. That's a pretty powerful statement right there. How are you today, sir?
Doing good, Drew. It is a powerful statement, but it's also the one that is correct. I mean, let's be honest.
Right.
What Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did, they flouted the law to let millions upon millions of illegal immigrants into the country. They did it on purpose. And the other thing, Drew, that the American people do need to come to grips with and understand is that we don't have enough judges now to give them all a day in court. If we wanted to go down that process, it will probably cost us a couple $100 billion, and it would take more than a decade to go through all the court cases. And here's the last thing. The illegal aliens, when they come in, Border Patrol knew when they were coming in that only about 5% would actually show up to court. The rest of them would just come here and just seep themselves into the country. And, you know, I don't want to say hide in plain sight. That's not the right way, but they would just be here in the country and there would never really be an ability to go through the due process that the left is looking for now. I think the thing that's most egregious from the left is they ignored our laws to let people come in, and now they want to use our laws to keep people in and now make a phony argument about due process. And I was asked about this the other day, and I said, listen, an illegal alien does not have the same due process rights as an American citizen. That is a fact because you're not a United States citizen.
Yeah. And I think that, and then we'll move on, but I just wanted to mention this too. And I think more and more that becomes the argument that she was making, which is the American people, what they believe is right and true in this has to reign supreme. You have a left that seems to continue to want to side with the ones who are trouble, the ones who stepped on this soil illegally, and give them everything that they ask, and all of these different things that have been talked about. And ultimately, the American people look and say, well, what about us? And I think that's come around full circle.
No, it's true. And I think, look, this massive illegal immigration problem that we have, there's either a quick solution, which is what President Trump is doing, which is they're going through identifying people in the country, starting with criminal aliens, everything he campaigned on, putting deportation detainers on them, and then removing them from the country. That's what the American people want to see happening. But it is the left and their judges that want to now abuse the law in order to keep the policy in place, even though it's been soundly rejected by the American people.
Yeah. And I think the numbers that they said just the other day were like 9,000 or something close to that. It was like the lowest numbers since like the 80s. the media had to report on that, and shock of all shocks, they had to do it. There's no place else that they can go with this except tell the truth, including what we found out today, right? The April jobs report. How about that? And the fact that places like CNN, of course, they're going to try to spin it, but they had to talk about it, about the jobs report and what we found out. It's just truth.
Listen, good job report. Obviously, we have a long way to go.
Right.
But look, I think the other thing that's important is government jobs. During the Biden administration, a bunch of their jobs were either government jobs or the jobs that naturally came back because the country opened. And you listen to the left, they'll tell people all the time, like, oh, he was the greatest job creator in history. No, he wasn't. Right. He created government jobs through massive overspending, which created inflation. And the jobs that came back were the jobs people lost because of the pandemic. No policy that they put in. Donald Trump has the economic prescription for the country. We're moving very fast on budget reconciliation. We've hit a hiccup around spending numbers, but we're going to get the president's agenda done with respect to taxes and energy reforms, so we could be energy dominant and drill, baby, drill.
Yeah. And then one of the other things that Dee was like, you got to ask him about the budget proposal that was released, and some of these numbers. What do you think about the budget proposal that the president put out there?
The White House budget proposal, in my view, is excellent. Getting back to pre-COVID spending is what we have needed to do for the last 4 years. It's about time we have a president and a White House with common sense who understands that the federal government just can't spend everything and spend our country into oblivion. This is a great budget blueprint. The Speaker of the House and the Senate leader need to adopt this budget blueprint. And listen, we're already hearing from certain Republican senators who are saying, oh, the defense line item is not high enough. And to those Republican senators and Republican members of the House, I would tell them that if we don't get our spending under control, we're not going to be able to afford the nation's defense. So we have to do the smart things right now, still have a strong fighting force, and start to maneuver and adjust our fighting forces so they're prepared for the challenges that are to come facing our country. But we got to get the spending under control. The president has told members of Congress that he was committed to getting spending under control. His budget blueprint demonstrates that.
Yeah. I hope that everybody gets on board and understands the importance of not just this issue too, but the tax issue, and making the tax, getting to that for a second too, making the tax cuts permanent. I mean, there are just certain things that are like, let's go. And I can't tell you how many people I talk to that get really worried about, the what ifs. Where are we going to be if we can't even get that done?
Well, I think first and foremost, I think we're going to get it done. The question is spending reductions, not tax policy. Mm-hmm. The tax policy, everybody basically agrees with, and it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
But it's about spending. And to be honest, Drew, the president's budget addresses decreasing discretionary spending. We're thankful for the president's leadership. That's where we need to go. But on the mandatory side of the aisle of the budget line, we have to get that under control as well. If we can push down mandatory spending and also push down discretionary spending, it puts the country on a much more sustainable fiscal path. This is what the rating agencies have been telling us about the federal government, that they have to begin to get spending under control. And lo and behold, it takes Donald Trump and common sense in order to do that.
Right. Hey, at least we're talking about it, and it feels like, before we gave it, or some people gave it lip service, and we knew nothing was going to happen. And now, you really legitimately have people that are like, let's go. And with the president's help, of course, I think that people feel like there's some light at the end of the tunnel on that one. And I can't let you go without talking about even the situation here in the state. I got to tell you, it feels so messy right now with everything, and even with the property tax issue. Maybe you have some thoughts on where we're going with this here in the state?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I think they really need to try to find ways to sit down at the table and work out a lot of these differences. Yeah, things look a little disjointed right now. And so I think the only way you really resolve this stuff is people just got to get in the room, sit at the table, the key people, key principles, and they just have to hash this stuff out. And I think you can get to a resolution pretty quickly. On the property tax stuff, I think what we really need to do is we got to study it, Drew. I'm driving through Levy County right now in Florida, and I would tell people, like, look, I live in Naples. I would love to get rid of property taxes. But I think that we have a lot of counties in the state that do not have the tourism base that Miami or Naples or Fort Myers or Palm Beach County or Orlando have. And so in these rural counties and these northern counties in the state of Florida, what does a proposal like that do to these counties? So I'm glad the legislature, I think they're on the way to studying property taxes. Let's see what kind of adjustments we can make. How can we take the burden off of people who homestead in the state of Florida, which is, all our Florida citizens, to give them a break. But we got to be thoughtful about this going forward, because it really does impact the state financially, not just today, but where it's going to go into the future. And there's a lot of stuff that has to get done.
Yeah. And for me personally, just me talking here, I felt that this is a big issue, too big to do hurriedly for any reason, especially political reasons. I mean, this is the kind of thing where, look, maybe we have talked about it in the past, and maybe it was the kind of thing that even on the federal level where we felt like certain things were given lip service, but now we're actually able to make things move. I think it's only fair to say something that would be this big and this important. We have to go through not only what would be happening for right now, but the ramifications of anything in the future as well. I mean, it needs to have time on its side to go over it. But now that it's out there and now that people want this and it's front and center, good. Okay, I'm cool with that. But that means that we really do take it seriously and we really will do something and we really will have the conversations. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I think what they're going to end up doing is studying the property tax proposal overall.
Yeah.
Whether to completely get rid of it, get rid of it for homesteaded property, or even do reductions for homesteaded property in Florida. I think that's where they're going to end up. But this is a big conversation. Listen, I get it, man. I don't want to pay property taxes either. Nobody wants to do that. But we just have to be mindful of the future expenses of the state, how we're going to pay for that.
Yeah.
And because, look, compare us to any other state, we really do have the lowest tax burdens in the country here in Florida, or one of the lowest. I mean, South Dakota is probably lower than us, but it's South Dakota, so that's okay.
Right.
In Florida, we have one of the lowest tax profiles in the country, and we have the best state in the country. So as we make these adjustments, let's just make sure we're clear-eyed, not just about what the politics look like today, but then also what this means over the long term into the future.
Okay, it's Friday, so last minute, I get one quick question. How do you feel like you did on the draft? I think the Giants did excellent, and I feel good about the future. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. How about your team?
We did okay. I think we got some pieces that we needed. I thought we were going to go for a quarterback, but I guess Jerry didn't want to do that, but that's okay. Jerry Jones is entitled to that. He owns the team, not me. But we draft well. The Cowboys always draft well, so we'll see how these picks pan out. But to me, NFL football, it's about the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Who do you have under center? And if you trust that guy when the lights get hot, you'll be very successful.
There you go. All right. Great to speak with you. All the best. God bless. We'll see you soon, okay?
See you, Drew.
All right, there he goes. That is Congressman Byron Donalds joining us for a few minutes here on Florida's Voice. We appreciate it. All right, when we come back, we'll do top of the news and let's see what else is out there. How's that coming up?
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's rock-solid countertops and more. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock solid countertops and more.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch NFL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Anytime you want to listen, of course, in case you missed the program, drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's. We appreciate you watching the program and then going to the website and checking it out because it runs 24/7, so you won't miss a bit of anything at all. All right, let's see. I'm hoping this is right. All right, let's see if we've got Anita Padilla in the Florida's newsroom right now. It's top of the news.
Top of the news. Florida's headlines now.
All right, Florida's Voice newsroom. There she is. Let's see what's up on this Friday.
Hey there, Drew. Here's what's topping the news at this hour. 3 men facing serious felony charges and long prison sentences if they are convicted by jurors in separate cases where they were using peer-to-peer sharing networks to exploit their victims, according to police. That story tops our news right now. The Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement announcing charges against 42-year-old Kevin Sheffield of Naples. He's facing 10 counts of possession of child abuse material, and he could go to prison for 150 years if he's convicted. 46-year-old Jason Harrison of LaBelle looking at 25 years behind bars for allegedly possessing child porn. And Travis Montgomery, a 34-year-old Bradenton man, is accused of selling kiddie porn that he got from a mother in a Washington state. Now, police also say he was tampering with food while performing sex acts in a restaurant kitchen where he was working. He's on course for up to 75 years in prison if a jury convicts him. All 3 cases are separate. All 3 men have high bonds. Lawmakers in Tallahassee up against the clock to get the bills in front of them passed before midnight, though they are addressing the state's budget the Monday after Mother's Day. But they did get approval now for that Dexter's Law. That's the one for people who torture or mutilate animals. House Bill 255, named after a dog, Dexter, that was adopted, and the owner beheaded that dog in a state park before he was caught, charged, tried, and convicted. People who do things like that are going to see their charges increased by prosecutors. That bill now heads to the governor for his signature. President Donald Trump signing an executive order to officially defund the Public Broadcasting Service, or PBS, as well as the National Public Radio, or NPR. He's also asking Congress to codify the measure as well. He says the government's days of funding news media in this environment is not only, quote, outdated, unnecessary, but also corrosive to the appearance of journalistic mouthpieces. Brendan Leslie, the founder of Florida's Voice, also agrees that the outlets are political propaganda, and he's been calling for the state's Republicans in the budget process to defund public media as well. All right, that's all for now. I'll be back in another hour to tell you about a bill that's heading to the governor's desk. This one is dealing with people who leave the scene of a boating accident. You may have heard us talking about Lucy's Law. That's at 4:35. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director for Florida's Voice. Drew, back over to you.
All right, Anita Padilla in the Florida's Voice newsroom. We appreciate you there. And anytime you want to watch NFL Voice News, YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook, anytime you want to see, read, find out more about what we're working on there at Florida's Voice in the newsroom, you can just go to flvoicenews.com. It's Florida's Voice, and it's right there for you. Yep. All right, so a couple of other things that we are watching, looking at. I love this reaction from Stephen Moore. D, we're going to see if we can play this video. Stephen Moore, who was looking at the results. Well, he was looking at the numbers live, the jobs numbers that were coming out. The prediction was like 135,000. And all of a sudden, Stephen Moore is looking down at his phone. And do you see the oh, no, you don't see it. All right. So here, just listen to this.
436,000 increase in the number of people who are employed. So this is an amazing report. The number of people, the labor force participation rate rose.
Yep.
So this is a really strong number. I wanted to mention one other quick thing. You know, about 2 weeks ago, every headline, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Washington Post, was, oh, the stock market is crashing. And since then, the market has been up, what, like 2,800 points.
Yeah,
so,
well, you don't see that
by the way, I don't see headlines about that.
That was the point. That was the point that Scott Bessent made. Yeah, Scott Bessent made the same point yesterday. That, you know,
exactly, he made that point. But
yep, that's right. Scott Bessent was making the same point. That whole idea that, listen, I don't be. What was the word he used? Something con. Instead of saying Republican or something, basically just be patient. He was saying, oh, panicking. D, is that what he called him? He called him a panicking. Don't be a panicking is what he was saying.
I don't remember.
Thanks for your help there. Yeah, he was talking about being a panicking. Like, don't panic. Everything's going to be just fine. So Stephen Moore was talking about that, and then the jobs numbers come out, and they end up being better than you can imagine. And of course, you know, the mainstream is going to be like, it's not as good as you think. It's look at this.
We're back with more on the latest jobs numbers. The April jobs report beat expectations with the U.S. adding 177,000 jobs. But that number is down significantly.
From what?
From last month.
Okay. So, you know, it's down significantly. And then they have some Democrat who comes on and he's like, you know, how's it going to be? Are we doing all right? Everything going to be okay? We're going to live through this?
It definitely doesn't. I mean, in my view, these tariffs are going to be seen by historians as the biggest economic blunder in 100 years.
Not yet. It's not. You may think it's going to be the biggest blunder in 100 years, but it ain't happening yet. So that's the angle that the left has right now. It's not as good as you think. Don't get carried away. Calm down. It's actually pretty decent. Let's be honest. There's a lot of things that they can't be honest about. For example, yesterday, the president delivering the commencement speech at the University of Alabama, it was really good. Really, really good. And I just want to play a couple of clips. I just have this one in particular. There's a couple of others that I really liked, and I have to see if I can dig those up. But look, the one thing you knew was he was going to be on his A game. The president at a commencement address, and this was pretty good. Some of the things that they wrote him, it was funny. There was something that he said, and it even as he was reading, he was like, "Hey, that's pretty good." that's well written. I like the way they did that, you know, that kind of thing. But here, President Trump delivering the commencement address to the University of Alabama, and some of what he said.
Asking me to go through with that stuff. But it's pretty descriptive, isn't it, really? It helps when you know that borders are not racist, speech is not violence, America is good, terrorists are bad, men can never become women, police are not criminals, and criminals are not victims. Eighth, everybody should believe.
Yeah, that's right. So he had a whole list of different things that people should be thinking about, the graduates should be thinking about. And it was pretty cool. The 11 life lessons, encouraging grads, and love what you do, and maximizing youth, and think big, and just a lot of great clips that, we're going to get to coming up in just a bit. But you got to give the president kudos, at least. Well, I know you Florida lefties won't do that. I get it. But you got to give him kudos because after everything that's happened, everything that has gone on in his life, still gets up there, still gets out there, and still delivers. It's awesome. It's awesome to see. All right. What else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Some of the other stories here from out of the state. Hit me. All right, let's see if we can find this one here. I saw this one a little earlier, and we were talking about it off the air about some of what has been happening here in the state. Coming up, when is Nick Howland going to be joining us, D? I got your mic up.
4:06.
4:06. This is crazy. And I just want to get this straight. So Jacksonville City Council member Nick Howland was talking about how right now there's an investigation that I guess the mayor, the Deegan administration, has been keeping a registry of individuals who lawfully carried personal firearms into City Hall, a blatant violation of state law and likely the Constitution. A registry. Now, we're going to talk more about this at 4:06, and he's going to join us. And a couple of things come to mind. Number one, the violations of state law and the Constitution naturally bring what? Lawsuits. And naturally, that costs the taxpayers. So we're going to have to deal with that, number one. Number two, that you have people who are doing things just as it seems we hear about all the time, especially in with left-leaning politicians, no matter where they are. You think it wouldn't happen in the state of Florida, but there are people who are going to do things and try to do things, allegedly, that are going to be politically minded and try to go around and circumvent your constitutional rights and state law. Is this true? Did this happen? Well, we're going to talk to Jacksonville City Council member Nick Howland about this because it seems crazy. Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of crazy going on right now here in the state. You know, I'm going to play this audio because I heard this and I was, let's just say, I was a little upset when I heard it because it seems to me like if you're going to have political ideological differences with certain people that are in your party, you just kind of, I guess you put on a good public face. Behind the scenes, you can work it out. But ultimately, it's about us. It's about me, you living here in the state of Florida. It's about us. Property tax issue. I can't believe that this is going to have to go past the end of today to deal with. Plenty of time to work on this. The governor had talked about that before. And proposals out there. You have certain things that just feel like, since the beginning, have been just, I don't know, really personal. And the really personal stuff, unfortunately, comes at the detriment of the people. When we can't put this out there together. And I'll even say this, because I'm getting ready to play a clip of the Speaker of the Florida House, Daniel Perez, and something that he said, a video clip that's been going viral today. And let me play this and then let me explain what bothers me a lot about this. Here, check this out.
I think it's important that we also acknowledge that every single Republican, in a supermajority, by the way, voted for this bill except one. So that means that over 80 Republicans elected by the people are all weak and are all rhinos. Yet the man that's calling us that a year ago was trying to convince us that the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, should have never been nominated by the people to be the Republican nominee. We're going to run from that? Why is no one talking about that? Just a year ago. Thank the Lord that we have the greatest president in the history of the United States on 1600 Pennsylvania Ave right now. And the one person that tried to stop him the most is Governor Ron DeSantis.
I'm just going to stop right there. Whoa. Let me just give you my opinion, my take, as we get ready to hit the break. See what I did there, D? Little fun with words. Pretty good. My take before we hit the break. And it's this. when all of the back and forth happens, things don't get done, and then ultimately we suffer. And we have to wait, property tax relief, other things. Come on. I'm upset with everybody because I want to see people in the camera at a table together, talking to each other, showing that they're going to work together instead of screaming at each other or talking about each other on different sides of not even the same room, not even the same building. This should not happen. Just should not be happening.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council. Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Definitely piqued most people's interest in the office, I would say. Everyone wanted to see it. At that point, it was kind of like, yeah, okay, let's get this out of here and figure out what to do next. After our staff kind of took a look at it, did an initial examination, we decided it was best to call Grand Rapids Police Department. Once police arrived and confirmed that it was possibly explosive, that's when they evacuated the building. So it was brought outside. The bomb squad unit secured it in a bag.
Well, that's good to know. Secured it in a bag. What, a bowling bag? All right, D, you're probably thinking, what is that all about? You ready?
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Secured it in a bag. All right, hold on. A Civil War era cannonball got thrown away in Michigan the other day, and the bomb squad had to be called in to make sure that it wouldn't explode. And that was an employee of the county public works who was talking about it. And they're like, did you hear what he said at the end? He's like, yeah, and we put it in a bag. Wait a minute, he didn't say that, did he?
They evacuated the building. So it was brought outside. The bomb squad unit secured it in a bag.
Secured it in a bag? How do you put, I mean, was it, because when I'm thinking cannonball, a cannonball is not it's not like a bullet. It's a big giant ball. You put that in a bag? I'm just thinking really heavy, one of those kind of the big giant cannons. Just when I thought the bag, I was thinking maybe a bowling bag? Could you put a cannonball? Would a cannonball fit? That's the question of the day, D. Would a cannonball fit in a bowling bag?
I think it would.
Yeah. So maybe
instead about the same size, right?
Maybe instead of mocking the Kent County Public Works in Michigan, maybe I should give them credit for being creative. Thinking, you know what? The cannonball, we got to carry it out. What do I carry it out with? Hey, Earl's got a bowling bag in the office. Okay. Because they bowl a lot up there in Michigan. Did you know that? Michigan.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So, are you suggesting that I just made that up? No, it's a known fact that
that's what it sounded like to me.
No, it's a known fact that most of your northern cities where it's super cold and there's nothing else to do, and in the winter you get really bored, they have no place else to go but bowl. It's just, it's crazy.
There's no place like bowl.
There's no place like, never mind. It's Friday, as you can tell. All right, D, I appreciate you. All right, let's see. Yesterday, Vice President J.D. Vance was touring a very high-tech steel mill, and people were like, why are you going to a steel mill? Is that what we're doing now? We're bringing back the old school back to the United States? Is that going to make things happen? Well, hold on a second.
I didn't fully appreciate how high-tech the steelmaking facility was. There's a lot of criticism that Donald Trump is trying to bring back the jobs of the past. These are the jobs of the future. Making American steel, building bridges and automobiles, homes for American people, and doing it in an incredibly sophisticated way. I just wanted to get a tour of one of the most high-tech steelmaking facilities of the world. I also, of course, wanted to meet the workers.
Yeah. Want to meet the workers? It's high tech. It's steel, the manufacturing of steel. I mean, why do we think of steel as low tech, as the jobs of the past? Are you sure about that? We make a lot of things. We make a lot of things that, technologically speaking, are pretty advanced out of steel. By the way, D, you notice on the screen? See what they called it? Called it Steely Vance. What is that? Vice President tours manufacturing plant, and they called it, the title on the lower third from Fox is Steely Vance. Am I missing something? Was that supposed to be a play on words? Because to me, that seems almost insulting, D. Like, it's the vice president. You're calling him Steely.
I don't know if it's insulting, but I don't know what it means.
I don't either. Why does it say Steely Vance? Are they thinking Steely Dan? And it was a clever play on Steely Dan, Listen, if D doesn't get it, nobody's gonna get it. So, that was a mistake right there.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way. No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show. Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important.
We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, a Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. A Friday-lujah to you. My name is Drew Steele. Big D's on the other side of the glass. You got Nina in the breaking newsroom and you hanging out at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. A lot to get to going on in Washington, D.C. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about what is taking place with the Trump budget, and it's been released, and some interesting numbers there. Also, some other things that are going on, including some of the breaking news that is out there with regard to a couple of things that have been discussed throughout the day, including about, I don't know why this came up, Jasmine Crockett and Joe Biden's mental acuity. Now, I know a lot of people were like, everything's fine here, move along.
Lion, dog, face, pony, soldier.
Yeah, I mean, nobody thought that at all. Everybody was like, no, there's something wrong with Joe Biden. Like, literally, there's something wrong with his mental acuity. So it's always good to hear from the head of the Democrat Party, who many believe is Jasmine Crockett or AOC, one or the other. I mean, take your pick, and hear what she has to say about it, because as she went on to MSNBC to talk about Trump's first 100 days, it would be interesting if she brought that up, and she did. And it got brought up. So we'll get that up here in just a second. But first, some of the things that are going on in the state of Florida are hard to believe. First of all, I wanted to make sure that I got this right. Jacksonville City Councilman Nick Halloran is joining us right now on Florida's Voice, and I saw this story, and I'm like, no, this isn't happening. And Dee said, yes, this is happening. And I said, can you get him on the show, because I can't believe that this is happening. So here you are. First of all, good to see you again. How's everything?
Drew, great to see you again. Going great. Hope the same with you.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, it was going great up until I saw the story, and then I'm wondering how great is everything in Jacksonville. So hold on. Are you suggesting, or is there this suggestion that of the Deegan administration there, the mayor, and registering individuals as they are lawfully carrying into City Hall? I mean, what is happening? Explain this story to me, please.
Yeah, the information coming out of City Hall, Drew, it's chilling. This administration has clearly broken the law. And the state attorney has now launched subpoenas, and there's an open investigation. What we're also finding is potentially taxpayers are going to be on the hook for millions of dollars in lawsuits. So, Drew, what we know is that since July 2023, the names and information as well as firearm information of anyone entering City Hall or the Yates Building, which in downtown Jacksonville hosts the property appraiser and the tax collector, has to give that information if they're going to carry a weapon inside that building. And that basically right there violates state statute 790.335. Florida, we're a no registry state.
Mm-hmm.
But what we don't know right now is who gave the directive to do that. Was it a contract administrator in the buildings department, or does it go as high up as the mayor? That's what the state attorney investigation, I understand, is going to try to find out. And that's what I would like to know, and a number of my colleagues on council as well.
Right. So my first reaction when I hear that is obviously state law, the Constitution. I worry about that. I worry about people who, and this is just me speaking, I worry about people who try to do things and get away with doing certain things that shouldn't be happening under the guise of politically, well, this is what certain people maybe that are their constituents or people that have been in their ear or whatever it is, talking about trying to do these kinds of things and going along with it. Now, hopefully it's not that. It would be bad enough if it was somebody that, like you described, someone in an office someplace who decided to make this decision. Have you talked to anybody in the mayor's office? Has anybody had a conversation at all about this? Has there been any kind of answer to this at all?
From what I understand, this was the administration found out about this and the Office of General Counsel on April 21st. That was about 10 days ago. I found out about it on April 29th, 3 days ago. I did a little bit of investigation, talked to as many folks as I could who'd be willing to talk, and decided at this point, I'm an elected representative of the people. The people need to know for transparency purposes. And, you know, this is where really the question hinges on who gave the directive. This is where it could go to like a crazy Netflix government corruption drama. If this direction came from the top, this will be a national news. Indeed, this administration has shown that it's willing to sidestep local law. Now it looks like they're willing to trample state law and potentially the U.S. Constitution.
Right. Now, by the way, when you say sidestep local law, maybe you can, for people that don't know, maybe you can explain that.
Yeah, this administration has been in office for 2 years. We had Confederate monuments come down, and doing that, whether you agree that Confederate monuments should be up in a southern city like Jacksonville or not, she did that in violation of local law. It was the council's decision to make, and this mayor went ahead and did it. We also have a situation where she sidestepped law related to negotiating waste hauler contracts in the city, and that was litigated. You might have even done a story on it. That basically is those two instances and several more where she'd sidestep local law, and you know, and each time it appears to be intentional. Sometimes she's using the general counsel to justify her position, and that position veers dramatically from prior general counsel. So she has, to conclude on that, shown a willingness to sidestep the law. So I actually would not be surprised if what we see here is a willing and willful violation of state law.
And by the way, for those listening and wondering, you know, when you do things like this, that's why doubt gets cast. You wouldn't have it if these things wouldn't have been happening to begin with. There's exactly. a certain thing called trust with your constituents, with the city, with people, with Floridians. It's not rocket science. It's very easy. And unfortunately, there are people that don't get the easy, not rocket science part and don't understand that we wouldn't be saying these things and be concerned about these things and how high it could possibly go up if there were no instances of even having that kind of doubt in our minds. And certainly now we've got to look into this. So what's the next step? What are we going to do next?
Well, I know the council is going to ask as many questions as we can, and we'll get as many answers as we can that are allowable while there's an ongoing state attorney investigation. We also know that the city is open now to potential lawsuit for all the folks whose names have been recorded on the registry. And, you know, actually, Drew, violation of this state law carries pretty severe fines and penalties. We're talking about civil penalties, administrative actions, criminal penalties, and in the law, it actually says up to $5 million for an individual or a government office that keeps a registry like this. So, you know, what we've got out of this is now this administration have put taxpayers on the hook for millions of dollars. Yeah. And once again, just a terrible decision coming out of the administration for the city of Jacksonville.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I'd love to have you back soon to keep an eye on this story, okay? And anything else that's going on. I mean, is there anything else while you're here? Hey, you're here.
that one is big enough that's occupying my mind. Right
okay,
now.
if that's fine. Well, we'll have you back and we can talk about other things going on in the city. You're always welcome. All right, sir. Good to see you. All the best. God bless. That's Nick Howland. He is Jacksonville City Councilman joining us on Florida's Voice. And, you know, the other thing that's the takeaway on this, and then we'll move on, is these kind of moves expose the taxpayers, like he has said, to legal liability. And then, of course, the court costs and everything else that goes along with it. It's the same thing that people have talked about throughout the state for years when it was happening with school board members, and it was happening at school districts, and the concerns about things happening within a district when you have certain individuals that are taking it upon themselves, let's just say, to flout what would be the law, and then you have all of these legal issues that pop up. It, for lack of a better way of putting it, it costs us money. Every time you do something like this, it costs the taxpayers money. And so now to have to go through this, I mean, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this story. All right. And as he described, it's chilling. And every law-abiding Floridian should be outraged if this is the case. All right. We'll keep an eye on that. What else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Yeah, some of the other stories that have been breaking throughout the day. I don't know how anyone could possibly think that there was a problem with Joe Biden and his mental acuity. I mean, no way.
We choose truth over facts.
Kind of started there and then just went into other things that hurt. So somehow this came up yesterday on MSNBC. Trump gets low grades on 100 days, from economy to, I don't know, planting trees. It doesn't really matter. It's MSNBC. Of course they're going to talk about how terrible Trump is doing on energy, on the economy, jobs. And until, of course, the job numbers look pretty good today. And everybody's like, well, all right, maybe so the tariffs are, hey, look over there, duck. That kind of thing. And I guess this was the, hey, look over there, a duck moment. That wasn't a positive for who seems to be the voice of the Democrat Party these days, Jasmine Crockett. And here, Dee, we're going to play this video on this very interesting claim that she made about Joe Biden. And, well, here, check this out.
He wants to have his makeup room.
Yeah, well, there it is.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this. You know, people tried to talk about the mental acuity of Joe Biden. And as someone who was able to interact with him, I never questioned his mental acuity. But come on now.
Okay. I just got to stop right there. You never questioned his mental acuity in the time that you spent with him. D, is that, can we disqualify people for that? I mean, first of all, you know it's a lie. And second of all, if it wasn't a lie and you really didn't recognize it, should you be in Congress? I'm just saying it's one of the other.
It's unbelievable the length these people will go to cover this up.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so she goes on. I'm going to let it go on. Just I don't know what she says after that portion of the clip because that's all I needed. But let's see. She's saying, but come on. Are we going to like the mental acuity of Trump? No, we're not going there.
Come on, like you are crashing the economy. We are talking about record crashing of the stock market. We are talking.
Well, we've got record crashing of the stock. Hey, D, have you seen the stock market today? It's looking pretty good. It's like, I don't know about the crash. I think people misunderstand the ebbs and flows of a market. You know, the ups and downs of a marketplace. I mean,
I think they throw the word crash around every time it drops a little bit.
Right. Like even if it's like less than 10%, or if there's things called volatility, everybody. We talked about it before. Volatility. People love volatility when it's going up, right? It's like, oh, it's a volatile market. It's going up. But when it goes down, they're like, oh no, what are we going to do? Just hang in there because you could have made a whole lot of money during that volatility because what goes down must come up. All right, what else does he say?
Talking about you just mentioned it, the amount of people that he has fired. We are talking about people complaining and saying there is nothing at the ports. Right. We are talking about CEOs coming in and sitting down with you and saying that these shelves are going to be as bare as they were.
Okay, I just have to stop for a second. Who is she talking about? Because constantly, time after time, you're always hearing about all of these different businesses, these different CEOs that are saying, we're going to invest in America. You have from NVIDIA and chip makers to Ford, and talking about on TV, a couple of different places, about the investments that they're going to be making in the country. I have no idea what she's talking about. Oh, and by the way, there was another breaking story just a little while ago on that front, on the tariff front. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Let's see if Dee recognizes this. So Dee, apparently, do you know Temu, right? Temu, there it is. Temu. Yeah, Temu. Temu's the place that you go, I guess. Apparently, if you want to get you're looking on their website and it's like, oh, look at that. It's a huge outdoor tent. And then you get it home and you can't even fit like one of your kids' dolls under it. It's like, I think that's the wrong size. That's not what I wanted. Isn't that the one that people make fun of?
I've heard it described like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's exactly what happens. But they're saying the Chinese online marketplace Temu stops all direct shipments from China to the U.S. in response to Trump's new tariffs. So no more getting that little baby tent for your kids' dolls there anymore. So they're going to stop direct shipments. Now, some people may say, I know what that is. That's called direct retaliation. We're in trouble. This is the kind of thing that people were talking about. This is the kind of thing that you need to worry about. This is where it was going to end up, and this is where the trouble begins. This is where you need to really, really be worried. You sure about that? Not only is this leading to a much-needed revival of chip making on U.S. soil, that was Tim Cook, who was excited to see a third U.S. chip plant being built here. Tim Cook, Apple, pretty excited about that. But also, you have the talk of what is going on behind the scenes. Gordon Chang had been talking about this for a while and mentioning that China's plunging the economy. The Communist Party is in disarray and workers are taking to the streets as factories are closing. And he's saying that because of what is going on right now, China may not make it. The external situation there in China is rapidly deteriorating. Countries are tired of China's arrogance, and now they believe they no longer have to put up with a Chinese state that is falling apart. They're feeling the heat. And here's what happens. And this is part of the discussion that Gordon Chang has had, and he's been on this program before, is that understand China's not the only place that you can get goods. They're not the only place that you can go. For example, you've got Malaysia, Vietnam, Cambodia, India, the United States. There are plenty of places besides China. And now, because of Trump, people are seeing the opening to look to different markets, to different places, to different sources. Who would do that? Who else was going to be able to pull this off? Remind me. Who was it that was going to be able to make this happen? And I think you know the answer to that. All right. Let's see. What else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? All right. I noticed this. Yeah, go ahead. Hit me. By the way, for people just tuning in, that's my transition music when I go from one topic to the other. I kind of like it. So Eric Doherty was talking about this story on his X account. Risking being held in contempt and thrown in prison, James Uthmeyer, the Attorney General of the great state of Florida, has told a specific activist judge that, listen, law enforcement statewide is going to stand down when it comes to her orders for them to stand down. In other words, this activist judge is saying, listen, when it comes to law enforcement in the state, they're going to have to stand down illegals, and they're not going to be able to arrest illegals in the state of Florida. And the Attorney General's like, no, sorry. The judge wants me to put my stamp of approval on an order prohibiting all state law enforcement from enforcing Florida's immigration laws when no law enforcement are party to the lawsuit. I'm just not going to do that. We believe the court has overstepped and lacks jurisdiction there, and I will not tell law enforcement to stop fulfilling their constitutional duties. I do not believe an AG should be held in contempt for respecting the rule of law and appropriate separation of powers. The ACLU is dead set on obstructing Trump's efforts to detain and deport illegals, and we are going to fight back. We will vigorously defend our laws and advance Trump's agenda on illegal immigration. Give it to me! I like that. I like that. So that is the attorney general here in the state that's like, no. Not going to happen. We're not doing this. And you've got these activist judges that are out there that have been trying to... and wasn't it an Obama-appointed judge? Yep. So we are going to keep an eye on this story because I like that, once again, Florida leads. I like, once again, that the Attorney General stands up like this. It's pretty much a situation where, look, if you want to stop us, come and get me. But I think that we have dotted the I's and crossed the T's, and we are in the right here. And I believe that we're going to continue to do this. And, I mean, he was threatened with contempt, and he's like, well, I'm not going to stop. So, wow. That's pretty strong stuff. All right. See some other stories coming out of the state. We got Florida's voice all over this today. And we know that there was legislation today that has passed, aimed for the governor's desk right now. And some of what's there is this one about combating a ballot initiative. Ballot initiative fraud. I love this one. The bill revises the requirements for initiative petitions, petition sponsors, and petition circulators. And they've fully passed this legislation. And so it's been amended in the House to allow individuals to carry up to 25 petitions without completing petition circulator training. The Senate concurred on the amendment on Friday, but what it's going to do is petition circulators must be U.S. and Florida citizens, talking about ballot initiative. So imagine you've got a constitutional ballot initiative. You got some dude in the parking lot that's got this paperwork on in hand, and he's trying to get you to sign this petition in the parking lot as you're trying to go into Walmart and get your package of mixed nuts because you don't like just almonds or just cashews. You like almonds and cashews and maybe some pistachios and some peanuts. You like them all mixed together, and you like to have that as opposed to one or the other. And you're trying to get in the store, and then you got this guy bothering you who's trying to get you to sign off on these petitions for a constitutional amendment, and all the while trying to say things about it that may or may not be true. Just to get you to put a signature to it because they need to get the signatures on these ballots. Petition circulators have to be U.S. and Florida citizens, not convicted felons unless their rights are restored. All circulators have to register and complete state training. The deadline to turn in signed petitions to supervisors of elections is reduced from 30 days to 10 days. Pre-filled petitions can no longer be provided to prospective signers. Can I say that again? Pre-filled petitions. I don't know. There's no rush. The nuts will be there when you get there. Don't worry about it. I love mixed nuts too. I don't like almonds all by themselves. I like almonds and cashews together. I'm with you. I'm the same guy. We like the same things. Tell you what. Yeah, they'll be there. Yeah, it's already done. Just put your signature on it. That's all. No. We're not doing pre-filled. Sorry. And the bill provides for the inclusion of the financial impact statement on the petition form. So a lot of good things in here. A lot of important things that have to do with election integrity. And keeping an eye on that, especially when it comes to these ballot initiatives. So can you tell that not only have I been affected by this personally, people in parking lots and trying to dupe me into signing something, and also how much I like mixed nuts. A lot. I always have some near me. Actually, they're there near me now. That's how I keep this hourglass figure. I'm sorry, my hourglass figure is sort of like, I'm I'm sort of like the bottom of the hourglass as opposed to the middle of the hourglass. It's a long story. Hey, oh, look at this. Top of the news coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. Is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning. especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News, YouTube, Rumble X, and Facebook. Anytime you want to listen 24/7, you can go to my website, drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's right there. It's on loop 24/7. So if you miss something, you won't miss anything because it's there and you won't miss it. All right, let's see what's going on right now in the Florida's Voice newsroom. We call this Top of the News.
Top of the News, Florida's headlines. Now.
I don't know what's going on. Let's see what they're working on there. It's Anita Padilla. She's got the latest. What's up?
Hey, Drew, topping the news right now. It's the last day of session, and lawmakers are up against the clock to wrap up these bills, get them approved or not. Yeah, they have to do it before midnight. Now, they did manage to pass House Bill 289. This one goes on to the governor for a signature. It's the one they're calling Lucy's Law. It increases penalties for people who leave the scene of a boating accident or recklessly operate a boat or maybe even give police false information. It's named after 17-year-old Lucy Fernandez, who was killed in a boating accident in Miami 3 years ago. Also, lawmakers, by the way, on a side note, say that they will be taking up the state's budget beginning the Monday after Mother's Day. President Donald Trump signing an executive order to officially defund the Public Broadcasting Service, or PBS, as well as National Public Radio, or NPR. He's asking Congress to codify the measure as well. He says government's days of funding news media in this environment is not only, quote, outdated and unnecessary, but also, he says, corrosive to the appearance of journalistic mouthpieces. Brendan Leslie, the founder of Florida's Voice, agrees that outlets like that are political propaganda, and he's been calling for the state's Republicans in the budget process to defund public media as well. Well, 3 men are facing some very serious felony charges and very long prison sentences if they're convicted by jurors for child sex exploitation and using peer-to-peer sharing networks. And the Attorney General is very serious about this, as well as the FDLE, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. They held a press conference today to announce charges against 42-year-old Kevin Sheffield of Naples. He's facing 10 counts of possession of child sex abuse material, and he could go to prison for, get this, 150 years if he's convicted of his crimes. Then there's 46-year-old Jason Harrison of LaBelle, looking at 25 years behind bars for allegedly possessing child porn. And then Travis Montgomery, he's 34, he's from Bradenton, and he's accused of selling kiddie porn that he apparently, according to police, got from a mother in Washington state. Police say he was also tampering with food while performing sex acts in the kitchen of a restaurant where he was working. He's on course for 75 years in prison if a jury convicts him. By the way, all 3 of these cases are separate. All 3 men do have some very high bonds. All right, that's it for now. Be sure to head over to our webpage, flvoicenews.com. Check out some of the other stories we're following for you. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director here at Florida's Voice. Have a great weekend. Drew, back over to you.
All right, Anita Padilla in the Florida's Voice newsroom. We appreciate you. Anytime you want to check out the stories, go to flvoicenews.com. That's Florida's Voice, the website, and right there you can see the stories for yourself that they are working on. I'm continue to monitor what's happening there at Florida's Voice to see if we can get the latest on the end, quote unquote, of the legislative session, at least the day, and then leading into what will be the passing off to the governor for signatures. We will see if we will get some bills moving, and as we get more information on that, we'll let you know. I think this was, for me, this was like one of the most shocking. I don't want to say most shocking, but I saw this yesterday. Did you see the video yesterday? I want to say video, but Jesse Waters had the Doge team in on the show last night with Elon Musk, and they're there at the Capitol, and they're all gathered around. Did you see any of those clips at all?
Nope.
Okay, well, let's do this. Let's show you some of these clips, because this one in particular, I was like, what is this Institute of Peace? Institute of Peace was locked and loaded, is the way it said on the screen. And they were describing what they were finding there at Doge. They had the one dude across from Jesse Waters, the one that they nicknamed Big, rhymes with Halls. Yeah, that guy. And so they're talking about some of the things that they discovered. I want you to check this out.
Yeah, and so it was by far the least peaceful agency that we've worked with, ironically. Of course. Additionally, we found that they were spending money on things like private jets, and they even had a $130,000 contract with a former member of the Taliban. This is real. We don't encounter that at most agencies.
Yeah. What was the money going to the Taliban for?
So it was a contractor. They received $130,000 for generic services. And to Elon's point, there was not actually a clear description of what the contractor services were for. But
was it for opium?
Unclear.
Or weapons?
Or nothing. Or nothing.
or abroad.
Okay, so here you have this money that's being spent. Doge is finding out about this. The dude they call Double B, talking about what they discovered there at Doge and this Institute of Peace, which didn't sound like it at all, and money to the Taliban, and then like other things that were happening in the federal government. Can we get accounting on this? Like exactly where is this money going? Don't know. What was it being spent on? Not sure.
Or nothing.
And you naturally have to ask the question, well, how did we get here? Like when the country was founded, there were only 4 agencies. Today there are over 400.
You got that, D? We started out 4 agencies. Now there's 400. I'm just taking a guess. You think maybe 1 or 2 of them are, maybe we don't need a couple of them. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Maybe a couple of a couple of a couple we don't need.
Maybe we can take a couple and cube it, square it, cube it, as the mathematicians would like to say. And we can up that number a little bit. That would be nice. Like the Department of Education, I was laughing about this the other day because, again, it came up in conversation. Somebody was like, can we really do that? Yeah, we can do that. Wow, what would that be like? Well, I don't know. It's only been around since 1979. Really? And the president was it? Yeah, it was Jimmy Carter. Oh, Democrat. Huh. What were they doing before that? Exactly. Nobody was able to do anything in this country before the Department of Education. We're a country filled with dummies. Is that rude to say? D, I mean, I'm just, being...
It's a little harsh.
Well, no, but we weren't. The point is we weren't a bunch of dummies. But the idea that the Department of Education comes along and all of a sudden it's like, look at this, everybody's smart. That didn't happen. That was the point of saying people were dummies. But you're not a dummy. Okay, moving on. What do you say?
So there's been a 100x increase in the number of agencies since the founding of the nation. And thanks to President Trump, he's now signed 2 executive orders to start to reduce the number of agencies in the government, and the Institute of Peace was one of them, which is why our team went in to try and understand what was going on. And that's when we found all of the craziness, like the weapons in their armory. We found the payments to the Taliban.
Okay.
Wow. Can you imagine that here you are, you're some kid, a dude, and Elon Musk is like, hey, we're going to go look for some stuff here, kind of peruse this paperwork. And you're going through the paperwork and you're like, oh, this seems pretty good. I get this. Taliban? Money? What? We don't even know where it's going. Can you imagine? So that was a little bit of Jesse Waters' program last night as they were talking about how things were getting doged and how it was working. By the way, I guess someone there at the Institute of Peace ended up deleting a terabyte of accounting information because I'm sure they were just, that's what happens. You know, when you just want to keep things clean. And so you just decide that you're going to delete some stuff that's on your hard drive. 1 terabyte of information on your hard drive. That seems like a lot. I don't know about you, but I don't even throw that stuff away.
Sounds very Hillary Clinton-ish.
Yeah, that's not very nice. True, but it's...
Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic.
I know. No, but I mean, I don't know about you, but when it comes to even storing things on hard drives, I get hard drives to store on my hard drives. And then I get a hard drive for the hard drive to store the hard drive because I want to make sure it's backed up. I never throw anything away. I don't even throw stuff off my hard drive away. I just keep duplicating it because I'm thinking one day, oh man, in 2015, I remember that I did that thing. I think I have it I have it on my computer. Hold on, I can pull it up right now. Are you that guy or is it just me? I'm on an island.
Depends what it is, depends how old it is. So yeah. No, I'm not that guy.
Okay. Well, for me, you know, musical stuff, if I'm producing a song or I produce something and I store it away, it could be from 10 years ago. And it's like, I think I had a good idea then. And you go back to it. I'm not talking about like silly stuff or, you know, I delete silly. I don't even know what that means. All right, we're moving on to deleting silly. Let's delete this segment. All right, what else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Yeah, we continue to watch, see what's going on there at the Capitol, Tallahassee, and some of what they are working on. Obviously, the end of the legislative session yesterday, a lot got done. Some of the things we didn't get a chance to talk about, I think, Anita Padilla was mentioning about Lucy's Law, enhances boating safety regulations, increasing criminal penalties for leaving the scene of vessel accidents. That Dexter's Law, introducing sentencing for multiplier in Florida's criminal punishment code, the aggravated animal cruelty, that's what that's all about. The bill to crack down on petition fraud, which we just mentioned a little earlier. And did we mention that? Yeah, we did. And the State Park Preservation Act was something as well that got moved yesterday. So those are all going to head to the governor's desk late night tonight in Tallahassee. I'm sure there's a lot that will be dropping in between. So as we get some of that, we'll get it to you here at Florida's Voice. All right, a couple of other stories we're looking at. I don't know what this is, but D, I'm going to show this to you, and maybe you can explain. Scott Jennings from CNN, who some have said might run for the seat that will be vacated by Mitch McConnell, hopefully soon, run for senator in Kentucky, where he's from. And he was with the president. You remember the other day he was out with the president and at one of the rallies, I think the rally in Michigan, and he's on the plane there. He's on Air Force One. And did you see this when the president was holding this up and he said,
yeah, social media was going crazy wondering what's blurred out.
Right, because he said,
like, not sure what to make of it.
Scott Jennings said something big is coming. Stay tuned. American flag, American flag. So what is that blurred out? Any idea? You think you can?
No idea.
Because, you know, a lot of people, the last thing, America, and even for the president, the last thing you want to do is hold up something that looks like a piece of paper, because ultimately that's also what happened on social media. I'm not going to put a lot of what has been there, but, you know, people Photoshop the blur and put things in there instead. Some of it was pretty funny. But anyway, yeah, what was that blur? I don't know. I have no idea. It was crazy to see. And yeah, I mean, like, this is what I'm talking about. Like this, you see this, D? Like, boneless wings are just chicken nuggets. Like that.
It's pretty good.
like, don't do that. Whatever you do, it should be a lesson learned by now for those that can't see if you're listening on radio. the president's holding up a piece of paper and it's blurred out and you don't know what's on this piece of paper as Scott Jennings is standing next to him on Air Force One. And he's like, stay tuned, something big's coming. And so obviously when somebody's holding a piece of paper up and there's enough space to Photoshop something over it to make it look like something else, the internet, Al Gore's interweb, kicks into gear. One of those things. All right, this might be one of the most disturbing videos that I've seen in a while, and I'm looking at the time, and I don't think we have enough time to play it right now. But when we come back, it could be our woke news update of the year so far. That's how disturbing this video is, and it's a couple of kids in a classroom. Did you see the couple of kids in the classroom doing what was some kind of rap song for the class?
Nope.
Okay, get ready. Because this is, if you're like, indoctrination in schools, that's not happening. How could you say that? Our kids are just fine. Everything is good in the classroom. They're not doing any kind of politically charged rap songs. Oh yeah? Stay tuned.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council. Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move. when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Barebackers, you've commuted enough times. Why are you sitting there without a phone, without a book, just looking at me, looking at what's going on?
Raw dogging.
Keep yourself to yourself. Read a book. Listen to, just do something.
You see, you can't have nice things, D. This is one of those situations where you think society is starting to come around. The pendulum swings from one side and it gets really, really crazy. And then it comes to the other and it's like calm and everybody's starting to see the world, common sense. You heard the term raw dogging, right? You know what that is. That was a big term in 2024. Do you remember the viral term raw dogging at all? No.
Was that the flight?
Yes, the one where you're on the flight and you're like, I'm going to be on this 4-hour flight and I'm not going to bring any tech.
All you can
notebooks.
do is stare at your map, right?
Or just stare off into space or whatever. Just think. Get in your own brain. So now there's something called barebacking on trains and subways where people are commuting and they're doing that. And so that is a podcast where the two people on the podcast were talking about how they don't like it because now people are looking around the subway car or the bus or the train. And so they're not looking down at anything. So they're looking off. And sometimes, they might be looking in your direction. And so now they're all upset because, why are you looking at me? I don't know. My eyes went that way for a half a second because I'm not looking at anything else. You see how you can't have nice things. These people just want to kind of reflect. You want to get in your own head. You want to just get away from tech and paperwork and the busy of everyday life. And here you got a couple of people that, well, what are you looking at? My eyes just accidentally went your way. What am I supposed to do? So I feel bad for people like that. Not the people that are like the ones that are staring off into space and not reading. The people that are doing podcasts to tell everybody to read a book. Get on. So the guy is saying his whole answer, D, is get on tech, read a book with a really cool British accent, which doesn't make you cool. It makes your voice cool, but not you. You know what I mean? It's just, you just can't have nice things. So I don't know. I like the idea of doing that. I said before, I've done it a bunch of times, driving to Tallahassee. We put radio on. I don't do anything. I just in my brain. And I like my brain. Okay, enough of my brain. Moving on. All right, I'm going to try to do this. D, just get ready because this is really, this video and audio is kind of disturbing. So this actually is my woke news story of the day.
This is Woke News Today with your host, Drew Steele.
Thanks, Biff. Okay. So people are always saying you got to be worried about the kids in school, the indoctrination and everything else. And you're like, no, that's not happening. Kids are fine. What are you talking about? It's not like they're making politically charged rap songs where they use expletives to talk about ICE. Did that really happen?
Story of others. The stories of others. Intertwining like brothers. Trying to change and free from struggles.
While at the same time hoping for help under the covers, unrecognized by others.
We are all humans, no matter the race. No disgrace, we all deserve a place. And we shouldn't have to pick up our pace because a police officer is in our face or a crazy white lady sprays us with mace.
We all are not thugs, and we all deserve hugs, and some of us won't even crush bugs.
We're getting deported by ICE, and I can't understand why everyone can't suffice. We have might, so we must fight.
I can't go on any longer than that. The kid says we must fight, and then they use an F-bomb there in the school, the rap, and basically the F-bomb and then ICE is what they said. Nothing to worry about. Everything's fine. Kids are good. Schools are good. Everything's cool. Everything's all right. No problem. Nothing to see here. There is no weird indoctrination or anything crazy happening with kids in classrooms. And I like Libs at TikTok, she put this up on her account and she's like, what's going on in our schools? I have no idea what's going on. What in the world is happening in our schools? Like, this can't be happening. And if you're like, well, listen, they're just expressing themselves. Okay, but do they have to express themselves with, like, F-bombs? Do they have to do that? Is there a way to... You can do it without doing that. And then against ice and... No.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way. No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show.
Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important. We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move. when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, happy Friday-loogia to you. My name is Drew Steele. Big D's on the other side of the glass. You got Nina in the breaking newsroom and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. We appreciate that. Hey, D, why don't we just start the hour with this? Because this is stellar. All right, you ready? You ready for this? I'm just going to play a half a second of it, and then I'll bring the volume down. But I want you to watch the White House. The White House made or post. I don't know if they made it, but they put it up on their account. They made a lo-fi MAGA video to relax and study by, and I want you to. Check this video out, okay? Here it is. It is a video of Donald Trump, President of the United States, signing executive orders. It's got a lo-fi mix behind it, and it's just a loop of him signing all of the different executive orders. So it's got the lo-fi music. It's got like easy listening, like... It's just on loop of all the promises made, promises kept there. That is the, I don't know if it gets much better than that. I don't know if that I've seen anything like that before. It's the ultimate troll. Oh, man. Just so good. So there's that. Yeah, White House creating a lo-fi MAGA video and just scrolling through all the wins. You gotta like that.
We will win, and we will win, and we will win.
And it's like, and for those that couldn't see, on one side, it's the president in cartoon form just signing all these executive orders, and on the right side, it's just a scrolling through of all the promises made, promises kept. Oh man, I don't know that it gets better than this administration and what we get to see on a daily basis. All right, what else is going on here? If CNN is freaking out, it's a good day. And they're freaking out because Elmo's not going to have any money to live in a trash can or something like that. I don't know. I forget. Is Elmo the one that lives in the trash can? Who's the one on Sesame Street that lives in the trash can?
No, that's Oscar the Grouch.
All right, Oscar the Grouch. I don't know either one of them, but neither one of them is going to live in the in the garbage can anymore because it's NPR and PBS, long targeted for cuts. Both received partial funding through the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. The president said, we don't have to do this. We really don't have to do this. They got a lot of money flowing in. They got a lot of support. They got a lot of supporters. A lot of people giving them money. We're giving them like $400-500 million. Why? It's not everything. Why are we doing it? Government funding of news media in this environment is not only outdated and unnecessary, but corrosive to the appearance of journalistic independence, Trump wrote in this order, and the order today terminating NPR and PBS federal funding with a sweeping executive order. Give it to me. Yep, and there are people that are just not very happy about it. They're not pleased. They're beside themselves. They don't really know what to do, and they're on CNN, and it's Brian Stelter, and it's glorious. So here's Brian Stelter on CNN. You probably remember him. He used to have a show there, and now they just bring him in every once in a while when they need somebody to freak out on camera, and he does a good job of that. And here he is, very upset about what the president did.
What do we make of this?
I brought props with you
I
today,
love a
Deanna.
prop.
I went ahead and read the entire law for you, the 1967 Public Broadcasting Act.
Yeah.
There is nothing in this law that gives any president the ability to strip away the funding for PBS and NPR. Congress was really specific back 50 plus years ago. They wanted to create an entity that was free of government control.
Right, it's free of government control. The problem is it's also become propaganda for some people in the government, mainly Democrats.
They wanted to make sure no president could ever pressure PBS or NPR.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a legal fight, like so many others that we've seen. And I suspect President Trump probably wants it that way.
He
look at the statement that we've received this morning from the head of PBS, Paula Kroger. She says this is a blatantly unlawful move overnight by President Trump. She says this is going to hurt people around the country because it threatens our ability to serve the American public with educational programming.
Really? It threatens our ability to serve the American public with educational programming. So it might threaten your ability to give educational programming. But of course, it's just a small percentage of what you get in total. So maybe you might need to cut back on some of the propaganda. I don't know. But Dee, are there other places that the American people can get educational programming? I'm not really sure. I might be mistaken about that. There's probably no place they can go, right? I mean, how many other places can you go to get something similar to like a Sesame Street?
Oh man, Nickelodeon.
I can't talk to you today. Anyway, so that's CNN freaking out, flipping out, and that's the PBS CEO who's like, you realize we won't be able to educate people. That's the point, because we know how you've been educated. It's been kind of one-sided on the, hey, we're going to educate people front. And the kids, I think they could probably find it other places. Remember, it was that was the PBS CEO. How about NPR, the head, who back in the day was very worried about that pesky thing called the First Amendment and the Constitution getting in the way of some of the things that they were doing in the past. Do we have that? Let me see if I can find that video. I played it a little earlier.
The number one challenge here that we see and is, of course, the First Amendment in the United States is a fairly robust protection of rights. And that is a protection of rights both for platforms, which I actually think is very important.
I'm just going to stop right there because the rest of it kind of breaks up and it gets all weird because she's in like a hotel room and the connection was bad. But let's play that part again.
Number one challenge here that we see and is, of course, the First Amendment in the United States.
Oh, man, that pesky First Amendment in the United States. Man, I'll tell you what, that is pesky to do what it is that we've been doing and trying to do and all that kind of stuff when it comes to indoctrination and education. Really left-leaning, progressive education. So there you go, NPR and the financing of through the taxpayer dollars, executive order. Now, remember, executive orders are fun. We love talking about them. We love seeing them, but they don't have a lot of sting and a lot of bite. If somebody else comes along and becomes president of the United States, and next thing you know,
and I'm a knucklehead at times.
Somehow Tim Walz is in the White House. I know. Can you imagine? And he's like, no, bring it back. We're going to fund you up. Don't you worry. We're back. Yeah. So we gotta work on that one too. While it's hot, as some would say. Speaking of hot and while it's hot, I thought this was a joke. Because the talk yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before that we were talking about Trump winning the lawsuit against CBS. It looks like behind the scenes, it was like a $20 million deal or something like that. He had the big lawsuit, it was like $20 billion or something like that for the selective editing of Kamala Harris during the election that CBS and 60 Minutes did. And
that was yesterday, I believe.
I think it was 20 million or something like that. They were going to settle out of court. So they're going to settle this whole thing and just make it go away. But of course, we talked about it, so it really didn't go away. I saw this, and I'm going to see if I can get it on the screen, because if I can actually show this to you, you would be shocked by the headline. But I don't think I can. CBS scores an Emmy nomination for its 60 Minutes Kamala Harris interview at the center of the $20 billion Trump suit. D, can I say that again?
Do you have to?
Yes, I do. The 60 Minutes interview that was the center of the lawsuit against CBS is an Emmy-nominated program. So what the left did, is they said, don't worry, we'll give you an award because we love what you did and what you tried to do. Do you see what's going on with the left? Do you see how sneaky and slimy and dirty and nasty the left is? I mean, not just you Florida lefties out there. I'm talking about all of you. That you will see someone who could have lost an election because a media outlet that's a trusted media outlet, like PBS and NPR, that won't be able to have education material for the kiddies unless we get our $500 million every year, because there's no way we can put a dude in a suit that looks like a giant bird. But anyway, I digress. The point is, you got all this money and all this stuff going on, and you're getting ready to try to upend an election and try to stop a previously elected president from being elected once again. And so you selectively edit an interview with somebody who barely can...
just going to keep digging this hole deeper and deeper.
Get out of her own way, allegedly. And you do all of this, and then said person sues you, and you lose, or basically you settle, you lost. And then your left-leaning buddy friends in Hollywood and the media come along and say, don't worry, we'll give you an award for it. Because deep down inside, we wanted everything to work out the way we all planned it together. Yeah, I said it. And it didn't work out. So we'll give you a nice award for it. Oh, only the left could do that. Only the left. Unbelievable. All right. Let's see, what else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Saw this yesterday. I'm always worried about the next thing that's going to be taking place with the Maryland man.
The Maryland man thought to be wrongly deported.
Maryland man Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
The Maryland man.
Yeah, that was that really awkward moment when the Maryland man video that came out yesterday. Fox News had that video, and apparently this is video of the Maryland man who was being pulled over by officers in Tennessee. It looked like there was some smuggling of individuals going on. Human smuggling, trafficking of human beings there, in vehicles that didn't seem like they had enough room typically, as an officer was walking up to the Maryland man's vehicle. And I don't know if you saw or heard this.
How dark are your windows? Huh? How dark's the back windows? Windows? Stand by. How dark are they?
The color.
Yeah.
From Texas is good.
How many rows have you got in here? 4?
Where?
4 seats? 4 rows of seats?
Yeah, it's 3 seats. Yeah, with him. Yeah.
Did y'all put an extra one in?
Huh?
Did y'all put another one in?
No.
They come like this?
This is the truck.
I've never seen one with that many seats in it.
I've never seen a vehicle with that many seats in it. You got a lot of people in here and a lot of seats. And does it come this way? I've never seen anything like this. You put it in? No. Okay. So now the officer is like...
I said I've never seen one with that many seats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, never seen.
No, it's the same.
So the officer's going to get ready to walk away from the vehicle now, and it's like, all right, might need to talk about this here. And so he's walking away from the vehicle and talks to the other officer.
You know what you got here, right?
No.
He's hauling these people for money is what he's doing. But sometimes they commingle dope and
Wow. Well, they knew it. They knew what was going on. November 30th, it was dated 2022, and that was
The Maryland man thought to be wrongly deported.
Maryland man Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
A Maryland man.
So apparently that's another part of the story of the Maryland man, as Fox News obtained footage allegedly involved in human smuggling, Tennessee state troopers, and this again is the person who Democrats have decided that everything's got to rest on this person's shoulders. Until all this starts to come up and people aren't really gravitating towards this story any longer, and then maybe there'll be another person. I believe there was a story about that that we'll have in just a little bit of, the next person that will be the one that the Democrats will hold up. Speaking of the next thing that the Democrats will do and hold up, and I saw this a little earlier, and I thought this was a joke, and I listened to it, and this is kind of weird. I'll ask D to start this conversation because he's on the other side of the glass and he has not seen this video. And I'm getting ready to play. But I will just start with this, D. When you get on an airplane, you've got to buckle up, right? You got to put that seatbelt on. I'm sure you do that all the time. First thing you do, you buckle up. Just so you don't forget.
Absolutely.
Okay. If you don't buckle up, what usually happens? Somebody maybe...
The flight attendant comes by before they're going to take off, and they double check and tell you to buckle up.
Yeah, you got to buckle up. I mean, everybody knows it. Little kids know that they have to buckle up. Usually they're with a parent and, help them along. It's rare that you would see somebody who would be defiant about buckling up on a plane, especially if you're someone in Congress, maybe even a senator. Did you see this video of John?
I have not.
Okay. Senator John Fetterman is on a plane and he won't fasten his seatbelt. And the flight attendant's like, are we doing this? He's got to know who it is. And this thing has been making the rounds in the past couple of minutes on social media. And let's see if we can listen to this. And if you're watching at FL Voice News, you can see there's the plane. There's John Fetterman near the front of the plane, and he's near the front in what's the area, D, where you got plenty of leg room? What's that called? The
extra space.
Is that or bulkhead or something like
Comfort
that?
Plus.
Yeah, something. He's in the comforty. There's nobody in front of him. Okay, so let's see what's going on here.
It's a federal regulation, so if your seatbelt's on, it just has to be visible. And right now, it's not visible.
He's telling John Fetterman, the senator, that it's a federal regulation. You got to put the seatbelt on. He knows this. He's flown a gajillion times, I'm assuming. Won't do it. Just won't do it.
Extender, if you'd like that, it'll make it bigger so it can go.
Got an extender, D. I got an extender to put this on so we can make it bigger so it can go around your sweatshirt.
Side of your sweatshirt. Would that work? Sir, if you want to go to Pittsburgh, it's simple. You have to follow our instructions, or you're going to ask to get off here. We're not asking much. All that we need is to be able to see your seatbelt at all times.
We just need to see you in your seatbelt. We can't go to Pittsburgh without you putting the seatbelt on. I mean, it's not anybody, and I'm not trying to make it sound like he's special, but it's not just anybody. It's a senator. And he won't put the seatbelt on. And it's Fetterman arguing with a commercial airline pilot about putting the seatbelt on it. Something's not right. There's got to be more to the story, right, D? That can't be it. There's no way.
It seems like that's it.
No, there has to be something else.
That's where the story ends? That's it?
That's it. And it's going all over the place because obviously people are looking and feel like, in a lot of ways, that there's laws for thee and not for me. I don't want to put the seatbelt on. I'm a senator. I'm not comfortable wearing one, but you have to. Yeah, but again, look, see the paperwork? I'm a senator. Leave me alone. Like that kind of feel. I think that's what it is, D. I think it's a combination of something's not right because you have to do this. So there has to be more.
That's selfish and embarrassing.
Yeah. But what else could it be? Let's hope that's not what it is. Let's hope there was something more And he was like, can I talk to you in the cockpit? I can't really tell you what's going on. It's a little thing. You know, could it be something like that? I don't know. But I just saw it pop up on social media, and I thought, well, this is really strange. Like, what's up with that? Like, why would you do that? So, all right. Let's see. What else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? All right. How are they doing there at the Capitol in Tallahassee? What do we got going on? We have anything new that's breaking? Just kind of watching what's going on there, and they're working late. As we told you before, we got legislation aimed to combat ballot initiative fraud that's heading to the governor's desk for his signature, so that's good. The State Parks Preservation Act is heading to the governor's desk. We talked about that. A couple of other ones that are going on, including the Senate passing the strengthening of school safety measures, enhancing behavioral threat management protocols, expanding oversight of school security personnel, clarifies campus security requirements. That's heading to the governor's desk. What's not heading to the governor's desk is anything that's got to do with property taxes. Apparently, we've got to wait for that one. And the Speaker of the House has put together a super duper awesomeness, blue ribbon, gold plated panel of people that are going to be talking about this for the next couple of weeks. Because I guess apparently as a body, they couldn't have done it themselves. And so now we're at the point where we'll get some super cool gold plated blue ribbon people to really talk about what we're going to do for the state of Florida and Floridians when it comes to property taxes. For many, it is extremely annoying that we're in this place, that we've had to wait, that this has been discussed early on. The governor had talked about this as well, doing something about this, had some thoughts on it, had some ideas, and somehow, not only are we going to have this blue ribbon panel task force here, what's it called? Pursuant to Rule 7.6. Oh, it's called the Select Committee on Property Taxes. And so they got a bunch of people that were selected. And one of the people that were selected, now, this is just me talking, and you may feel differently, but I don't know, maybe not. One of the people that the speaker has picked to be on this blue ribbon panel, super duper gold plated committee thingy is Anna Eskamani. Representative Eskamani has been known here in the state of Florida for a while, and some would say pretty woke on the Democrat side. And she's been added to this group. Now, there are some that have been added to the group that are Democrats and were formerly Democrat, like Hillary Castle, who's now a Republican. Gotcha. Just saying. My personal opinion. And so now we're going to have Anna Eskamani, who's going to be part of this. And for me, when you're picking these special super duper panels and you've got a super majority and you couldn't get it done somehow during session to work on the property tax issue, and we couldn't get this thing over the finish line, and it's I don't know how that could be. But when you have a super majority, you also are the ones that have been what's the word I'm looking for? What do you say?
We will win, and we will win, and we will win.
Yeah, lots of winning going on in the state. And some might say, me, that when you're doing that kind of winning and you have a super majority, when it's like, hey, how about the real woke Democrat over there? Should we get her? No, we're good. Well, why not? I don't know, because we can do this. We should be able to handle this. The people in the state of Florida, they're the ones that they picked us, a super majority. See how that works? And they got the little baby majority. I don't need somebody from the little baby majority to kind of gum up the works a little bit here. I think we could do this. So I think that's kind of how people think. Did that make sense? You know, the super majority and the little baby majority. It's like, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree. So no relief right now And property taxes, what's it going to look like after all is said and done? I don't know. What are we going to get? I don't know. Just can't believe we're in this position, and it's not a good look, everybody. Let's just put it that way. All right. Coming up, we will have the top 5 audio clips on this Friday. Hallelujah to you.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true.
They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch NFL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Hey, anytime you want to call, 866-588-8303 is the phone number, 866-588-8303. It is 5:35. That means around here, it's time for the top 5 audio clips of the day. It's my top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Drew's top 5. Number 5.
You thinking about running for president or senate?
Because of my Instagram posts?
No, the video, the campaign style video. It's got everybody talking.
I mean, listen, it's a video, and frankly, I think what people should be most concerned about is the fact that Republicans are trying to cut Medicaid right now, and people's health care is in danger. And that's really what my central focus is. This moment isn't about campaigns or elections or about politics. It's about making sure people are protected.
How about the truth? Because she just lied right there. There's no cuts to Medicaid. That's not happening, but that's okay. So AOC, and she made that video that we played a couple of days ago, and it sure looked like a campaign video and sounded like one to us. And asked her, "You going to run for Senate? You're going to?" "Oh, I'm just really concerned about the." Okay, of course she's going to say something like that, and I don't think she's going to let on that she's going to run for president. But if I might say, please, will you please run for president, please?
Number 4.
Implication being those people think he has made mistakes.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this. People tried to talk about the mental acuity of Joe Biden. And as someone who was able to interact with him, I never questioned his mental acuity. But come on now. Come on. Like, you are crashing the economy. We are talking about record.
Implication being.
Okay. Nobody's crashing any economy. As a matter of fact, I just saw a headline, breaking news, seriously, the S&P had its 9th consecutive day of growth, up day, and it hasn't happened for 20 years or some crazy number like that? It's been like a very long time since that's happened, so there's no economy crashing, but MSNBC and Jasmine Crockett talking about, Trump's low grades for his first 100 days and the economy, the legislation. And, oh, by the way, when it comes to Joe Biden and mental acuity, I don't know why that came up in conversation, but when I talked to Joe Biden, he seemed perfectly fine to me. He seemed perfectly fine. He did. Hey, does that immediately disqualify you from public office? Because to me it does.
Number 3.
And there is not a day, Chris, that goes by that I don't hear from the military or from the intelligence community that their morale is deteriorating because this kind of behavior is going on, from Hegseth, from Waltz. I got to throw Tulsi Gabbard in there as well. There's never been a director of the national intelligence that almost on a daily basis condemns the intelligence workforce.
I'm just going to stop right there. That is Mark Warner. He's a senator. He is also somebody who was knee deep, hip deep, waist deep, neck deep in the Trump-Russia collusion hoax and a lot of things that were going on during all that time when he was president and caused a little bit of grief on that side of the aisle. But to Mark Warner, who is trying to say that the president and Trump's agenda and that every day right now the military is sad. Their morale is decreasing. Do you honestly believe, is there anybody that really thinks that the morale of the military is deteriorating and that because of Donald Trump right now, we are less safe? I mean, somebody that's like, not cray-cray?
Number 2.
All right, breaking moments ago, the April jobs report just released showing steady gains amid some economic uncertainty. I want to bring in CNN's Matt Egan, who joins me now with more. All right, what are we seeing in the numbers? What is the context here?
Yeah, Omar, we were bracing for a slowdown in the jobs market. We did not get that.
Oh, no. What happened?
We got steady hiring. This jobs market is just relentless. Let me run you through the key numbers.
Yeah, let's do it.
177,000 jobs were added in the month of April. That easily beat forecast for 135,000. So,
oh no, that's CNN. CNN, who every once in a while has to tell the truth, has to say what's happening, has to give you the numbers. There they are. April jobs report, crushing expectations. 177,000 jobs added. They thought there was going to be 135. So I don't know if it's crushing, but it's a good number. And there was record hiring in restaurants, hotels, healthcare, and education, not government, and government. So the Trump economy seems to be doing pretty well, and even CNN can't really hide too much of that. There's only so much you can do, and it's like...
Drew's Top 5.
Wait, I'm not done yet. I got one more. Hold on a second. What? I got one more. All right, make believe I said something. That's clever. Everybody's thinking, oh, wow, that was clever. Okay.
Number 1.
For asking me to go through with that stuff, but it's pretty descriptive, isn't it, really? It helps when you know that borders are not racist, speech is not violence, America is good, terrorists are bad, men can never become women, police are not criminals, and criminals are not victims. 8th, everybody should believe.
There you go. No, I just really like that from yesterday, and the president delivering a commencement address to the University of Alabama, and I just thought that moment was cool.
Drew's Top 5.
Just because what it did was it just reinforced, I think, for a lot of people. Now, let's just take a second and think about this. The president of the United States, this president, Donald Trump, spoke to the graduating class at the University of Alabama this way. Said a lot of other things, too, that were pretty amazing. And the reason why I'm saying it that way is because when he is able to speak truth, when he's able to talk about things that are going on now, as opposed to how a lot of woke was acting not too long ago. Maybe I'll play some more audio from last night, too. When he says things like that, and it resonates with the audience, they want to hear that. So a lot of good things that were talked about last night. And I think it's, let me just play, this was kind of funny. So yeah, I'll play this one. Hold on a second, D. All right, let's get this one queued up. And check this out. So this is, once again, the president in Tuscaloosa.
Here in Alabama, we believe that the men and women who built this country are heroes, and that America's destiny is to be the single greatest nation on the face of the earth. And we're bringing it back at a speed that nobody thought was possible. We believe in freedom and family, God and country. We cherish our Constitution. We revere our Bible. And we salute our great American flag.
Listen to that. Come on. That's good stuff right there.
We honor our police, we respect our veterans, and we always stand for our one and only national anthem. We love our national anthem.
Just saying.
We believe in strong parents, strong values, strong communities, and very strong borders. And we believe that the United States military is the greatest force for peace and justice the world has ever known. We have a great military. We just had people that didn't know how to lead it. We believe the South is beautiful, Alabama is great, and America is our home. We believe in the SEC and the USA.
Got to get that in there. Yeah. Look at this face. Oh, man. Yeah, there you go. But good stuff. You know, again, I hope you understand what I'm saying here is that usually the MO of a politician when they go and do commencement speeches is to not make the speech like that. It's more about, the hope for the future. And, you do these big lofty things. And he did that, of course. But the specifics that he is able to get into, he's going to go there and he's going to talk about all of these things no matter what. I mean, that he's going to do that. But the point is that he can. And he's talking to an audience that wants to hear this, that I believe has changed a lot and believes in what has been happening up to this point, as well as the future of the country. Feels good about everything. And the way that we're going to change the direction is certainly with the youths. Yeah, I said the youths. I did.
Did you say youths?
Yep. With the young people. That's how we're going to move the needle. And also speaking a lot of truths to things that are going on that we talk about on this program. And things that may be uncomfortable for people to hear, when he's talking about families and caring for families. I believe, to me, that also means, I don't know, should I say this? Be provocative? Okay, I'll say this and be provocative, and then I'll move on, because it's Friday. But it's this. When we talk about families and strengthening families and the future of the country and how we get past all the woke ideology and everything that's going on in the indoctrination and the DEI and all of that, and where we've been, and how I don't believe the country was on board with that anyway. I think a lot of that was pressure to be on board, doxing to be on board. If you're not on board, you can't be my friend. If you're not on board, you can't have this job. If you're not on board, fill in the blank. People don't like that. Naturally, instinctively, people don't like that. And instinctively, those kind of feelings happen. That's great. But also, when it comes to family, the two-parent household is so important. Not only is that important, but it's also important to understand that, wouldn't it be awesome? I'm dreaming here. Forgive me. I'm just dreaming. But wouldn't it be awesome to have a two-person household where one person goes out and is the breadwinner, and the other person, if they desire, would stay home and raise those kids and be part of what is going to be an amazing future, because you're able to stay with them, spend time with them. And again, when I say these things, people they cringe, they get all upset that I would say something like that. But think about what I'm saying. Wouldn't it be great to create a society, an economy that wouldn't demand that two people have to go work? Like, I don't have a choice. Both of us have to work. We have no choice. Wouldn't it be nice to be in a position where we don't have to do that? Wouldn't that be something we should strive for? Not just because it means financially being in a better place, but also to be able to make the decision as to whether or not you want to work or not. Maybe you want to stay home and raise your kids. Maybe you understand the importance of someone being at home, raising, maybe even homeschooling your kids. Think about how society would change. Think about the way it used to be. It's pretty good. That's what I'm saying. We could get back to that place. I know, and I hear a lot of people screaming, probably screaming at the radio or the computer screen, wherever you're watching. What are you saying? You're saying that, for example, you're suggesting that, women can't go, they can't work? Is that what I didn't say that. I'm saying, wouldn't it be wonderful to have a choice as to whether or not maybe you would like to stay home and raise your kids? Husband goes out and works. Oh, that's so 1950s. Okay. Then you go work and he'll stay home. Whatever you want to do. But the point is just to have that ability to be able to do that. I think that's pretty cool. That's all. Make the choice. All right. I don't know if I should play this. I saw it and I'm like, I would play. D, I might play something for you on the break and then I'll have you decide whether or not you think I should show this video of Katy Perry and in concert and what she was doing during the show. And this video, I'm looking at it right now, and it's like it's not helping people that are listening or not watching it because you can't see it. But now that I'm watching, I'm thinking, Katy Perry, do you know she's an astronaut? Did you know that she's the astronaut that was up in space recently?
Yeah, and then she jumped in a puddle, and now she's a deep sea explorer too.
You get the award today. Ding. Hold on, that was. Hey, good. That's it. Why don't we just end the show here? Good night, everybody. Boy, why couldn't we have ended with that? That was excellent. Excellent. Good work. All right, we'll put a bow on the show next on this Friday. Hallelujah to you. My name is Drew Steele, and this is Florida's Voice. Wow.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council. Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move. When being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, we put a bow in the show on this Friday. All right, a couple of things that we're looking at. First of all, oh no, here's the White House doing a little more trolling here. Can you see this? If you're not watching at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook, here's the White House. Do you see this, D, that put out this meme on X? And,
yeah, I saw that this afternoon.
No. All right, so so there's 4 pictures. Kamala Harris, not president. The Maryland man, a picture of him saying, not a Maryland man. NPR, not real news. And then the Gulf of America, not the Gulf of Mexico. Thank you very much. Have a good day. All right. That was very, very nice. They're doing a lot of that lately, aren't they? I don't know. Does that... So I guess the question, D, is does that resonate? I guess it we're talking about it, so it must.
It must.
Yeah. So did you see the video clip that I sent you? It was just a still shot, but...
Yeah, I mean, we can do it.
No.
We can. We don't have to. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't really want to. It's just too weird. It's and I can't.
I agree. It's weird.
Yeah, and I don't even think I want to describe it. Like I'm kind of done with even talking or thinking about that. Especially considering this weekend is such a big weekend for so many people. Do you know what this weekend is, D? Do you have any idea? Think about today, and then think about Saturday, and forget those 2 days, and then think about Sunday. What's Sunday?
Wait, why did you ask me to keep thinking of all the other days?
I said don't think about the other days. Forget today. Forget Saturday. The big day is Sunday. What's Sunday?
I don't know.
Oh, D.
Get ready for...
Okay, that's different. Do you need any more than that?
What was that?
Listen.
Get ready for May the 4th. To celebrate, Lucasfilm is re-releasing a limited edition Star Wars box set.
Yeah. So
this is why I didn't know what it was.
So I guess May 4th. Get it? May the 4th be with you.
I get it.
Yeah, so it's a big Star Trek day for people. So they're going to be out there doing their Star Trek stuff, you know, with their lightsabers or their phasers on stun or whatever it is.
You better hope Brendan Leslie is not tuned in.
And, the guy who pinches people's necks and makes them pass out. Can't figure that one out, but yep. So it's a big May the 4th be with you. And, you put your hand up in that funny little gesture that they do on Star Wars. So, yeah, it's a big day. And Lucasfilm is releasing a box set special for Sunday. How many box sets would that be? Haven't they already done this? How many more boxes can they put out?
I don't know anything about that series, Drew.
No, no. That's not the point. The point is there's probably a gajillion movies in the set. And
it's a big box.
After all of these years, this would be the first time they ever put them all in a box? I don't believe it. Unless it's got like Spock's picture on the cover or something like that. I think that's how that works, right? Anyway, send your cards and letters, carry this station to Big D, and he'll make sure he files them away because there's people already getting upset. All right, let's move on from all of this nonsense and see what else we'll be talking about certainly over the weekend and into tomorrow. Big thank you to Congressman Byron Donalds for coming on today. That was a lot of fun. And also Nick Howland, the Jacksonville City Councilman, who was breaking some big news today and the concerns about what is happening in the city of Jacksonville and a gun registry for people that were entering legally with weapons into City Hall, like keeping tabs on them, like not legal in the state, not constitutional? Like, did that what happens next? So, something we'll keep an eye on through the weekend, and then we'll probably revisit next week as well. All right, my name is Drew Steele. Have a fantastic May the 4th be with you.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way. No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.